In this demo, I will be demonstrating deploying an Nginx web application with Duplo. Hopefully, this will give you an idea of how easy deployments can be when using Duplo. So head over to portal.duplocloud.net, and on the home page, I'm going to click on the login. So just a key point here that when you log into Duplo, make sure you're logging in with the Gmail account that you used to sign up. So I'm going to click on the login button here, and this will take me to my tenant page. So this is my dashboard, and this is where I can see all the information about my tenant, the hosts that are connected, the containers, the faults, and the dollar amount that I spent. Obviously, since this tenant is fresh, all this data is not populated. But so let's go ahead and launch an application. Before we head ahead, I want to clear out three things. The three core concepts of Duplo are hosts, services, and load balancers, also called ELB for Elastic Load Balancer. Your ELB is the connection point to your application. All the communication to and from the application will happen through that load balancer. A service is an application, in this case the Nginx application, running inside a Docker container. So that is called essentially a service. A host is nothing but an EC2 instance which runs a service inside of it. So you can have multiple services inside a single host. So to clear this out, let's go ahead with this demonstration. To start, I'm going to create a host. So I'm going to go on the host tab. I'm going to, in the EC2 host section, which stands for Elastic Compute Hosts, I'm going to click this plus icon to create a new host. So a t2.micro seems ideal for this demo, and all of this seems fine, so I'm going to go ahead and click submit. It will take a minute for the instance to move from pending to running. And if I refresh this page, I should go back to hosts. I should see, there we go. The instance is running. So now that we have this host, we need to make a service run inside of this host, right? So let's go onto the services tab. In the current services section, I'm going to click on the plus icon. It is going to tell me that I don't have my Docker Hub credentials set, but that's alright. Since I'm using a public image, I don't need to set my credentials. If I was using my own private image in my private Docker repository, I would go ahead and enter my credentials. So I can skip this for now. And let me just call it sample service. Alright. The Docker image I'm going to use today is Nginx latest. This is very common Docker way of writing the image name. So Nginx stands for the name of the application running inside the image, and latest means the latest version of that image in the repository. I'm going to choose one replica. Obviously, I could have multiple replicas, but do note that if you have the number of replicas that you have here must be equal to the number of hosts, because each replica is going to run inside of its individual host. And all of this looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and click submit. Alright, so it tells me that the service was created successfully. So at this point, we have a service, and that service is running inside the host that we created earlier. But we have no way to access this service, right? So we need to go ahead and create a load balancer configuration. So in this section, I'm going to click the plus icon. And as you see, Duplo pre-populates a lot of the information for me. But what I do need to do is map the container port to the external port. So I know for a fact that the Nginx image runs on contain a port 80, but this can be verified by going to the Docker Hub page for that image, and I'm going to map it to external port number 80 as well. I don't need a certificate, but if I did, I could choose that from this option over here, and I'm going to hit submit here. So this has created a load balancer for me. So in essence, at this point, I have a load balancer endpoint which I can now use to communicate to my service hosted inside the EC2 host. As you can see, the current service in the current services section, my sample services has a DNS name given to it. I am going to wait up to 10 minutes for this DNS name to be active. It takes a little time for the DNS records to be populated. So at this point, I'm going to wait to 5 to 10 minutes for this DNS name to be active. So I waited for a few minutes now, and I'm going to go and copy this link from the current services section. Just in case you were wondering, this link is the same as this link. They both provide the both URLs point to the same endpoint, but this is just an easier to use version. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in a browser. And there you go. Welcome to Nginx. So what just happened here? So I access this URL link. This took me to the load balancer that we just created, and that load balancer mapped port 80 to the internal port 80 of the service running the Nginx application over the host. So as you can see, we just launched a web application in a couple of clicks. That's how easy Duplo makes deployment for us. Thank you for watching.